So eventually I was led to this video clip where this gentleman was explaining to his audience how certain vibrational frequencies held these sacred geometrical patterns in shape when tuned to the right frequencies. And I truly didn't grasp the concept of that until I started making this video. One of the images in this video that was revealed to me was Metatron's cube, which I later learned was a very occultic symbol that is found in Jewish mysticism or the Kabbalah. And this led me down another whole path of research. The Kabbalah has been defined as the mystical expression of the Torah, which are the Hebrew scriptures. The Kabbalah views this secret mystical knowledge as a path towards immortality, which involves intensive and non-traditional religious mystical activities such as chanting and meditation to synchronize one's own vibrational frequencies in order to achieve that higher level of consciousness to commune with God. Merkaba mysticism is the foundation of Jewish mysticism, or the Kabbalah, that dates back to the ancient mystery religions of ancient Egypt. This is the metaphysical relationship between mind and matter, the spirit and the flesh. Mer means light, Ka means spirit, Ba means body, light, spirit, body. So when specific vibrational frequencies are achieved, this produces sacred geometric shapes such as Metatron's cube and the Platonic solids that can be observed, which explains the metaphysical relationship between mind and matter, the spirit and the flesh, because the human body is made up of atoms and 60% water and our spiritual energy that is trapped inside. And all things are held together with vibrational frequencies. That is the mystery. The Kabbalah and other mysticism like it, like the New Age movement, is just man's vain attempt to escape from the tree of knowledge of good and evil that Adam and Eve were told by God, you shall not eat, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. We are the tree of knowledge of good and evil. When we were led astray to the earth and took on host bodies, and Eve fornicated with the serpent, we all became yoked to a demon, producing our dualistic nature. Our flesh bodies became our death sentence, and unless we take from the tree of life, who is Jesus, we will die. Jesus says in John 10:9-10, I am the door. By me, if any man enters, he will be saved, and shall go in and out and find pastures. The thief cometh not, but to steal and kill and destroy. So anybody who's pursuing a path to immortality without through Jesus is a robber and a thief, and it's not going to bode well for them. You have to understand that this is real. This is not something made up or some Hollywood script. This is truly a form of ancient witchcraft and what the Kundalini spirit in yoga and the New Age movement is all about. It's opening the third eye, the pineal gland, and synchronizing one's own vibrational energy or frequency to the divine source to achieve that higher level state of consciousness beyond duality. And this allows them to gain access to the spirit realm, to the divine source, which is Lucifer, because anyone who goes through the gate without Jesus is a robber and a thief. Throughout the centuries, rabbinic sages have sought to duplicate the experience of Ezekiel's vision of God's throne, described as the wheels within the wheels carried by 4 living creatures in Ezekiel 1. But unlike Ezekiel's experience, which was initiated by God, the mystics of the Kabbalists use occult methods to achieve union with the divine source apart from having Jesus Christ. And this is known as Merkaba mysticism, symbolized by the Sephirot tree and the 6-pointed star, also known as Metatron's cube. Merkaba's mysticism believes that they can recreate Ezekiel's wheels. Ezekiel's wheels are the counter-rotating fields of light between the spirit and the body. It's spirals of energy as in DNA, which transports the spirit and the body from one dimension to another. It's actually the interdimensional vehicle consisting of 2 equal sides, interlocked tetrahedrons of light with a common center, and it can be viewed as a 3-dimensional Star of David. Now you know what all this mysticism and all this symbology is all about that we find littered throughout the world. And so life as we know it is held together by these frequencies, from the creation of 2 cells, which forms the Vesica Pisces, represented by the Kabbalistic seed of life, the flower of life, the tree of life, and Metatron's cube that produces the sacred geometric Platonic solids, which forms and holds in place the structure of atoms at the molecular level to form our DNA and to bind together all matter and spirit, which creates the human host body, which in Jewish mysticism and the Kabbalah is known as the Sephirot and the Kelepoth. The Sephiroth is the good spark from God, and the Kelepoth, which translates into a peel, shell, or husk, is the human host body, which houses the essence of evil or impure spiritual forces in Jewish mysticism. It's the polar opposite of the holy Seraphoth. It's the realm of evil, also termed as the Sitra Akra. This is literally the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This is the twin system inside of us, the good and the evil, the yin and the yang, the two opposing male and female energy that the Lord God is going to take vengeance on and burn it all, because we were never meant to take on flesh bodies. This is why Jesus says in Galatians 5:17 that the flesh is in opposition to the spirit. And because we all have DNA from the serpent, who is the prince of the power of the air, he is able to see into every human host body, and it's through his frequency that our spiritual energy is slowly being transmuted from an angel to a demon, from male energy to female energy, represented by this metaphysical transmutation circle, which is our flesh. Because God's energy is male, we pray to our Father. This is what is meant in Ephesians 6:12, where it says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against the powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against the spiritual wickedness in high places. Because this is a spiritual battle that's going on inside of us. It's the female energy warring against the male energy. Now you know why the world has a gender identity crisis, with men wanting to have sex change operations to become female. The female energy is consuming the male energy. It's taking over. The prophet Daniel prophesies in Daniel 12:1, and it says, and at the time Michael shall stand up, the great prince which stands before the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was, since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book of life. When you look at the translation of the word trouble here, it translates to a female rival, an adversary, affliction, distress, tribulation. And then when you look at the word nation, it says a flight of locusts. Do you understand what this is saying? It's the female rival taking over, transmuting into a nation, which is the flight of locusts that are coming. Okay, let's bring this home. Let me show you what Metatron's cube is all about and how it has manifested in the world. Metatron's cube is the prince of the power of the air. It is what locks us into our duality within the human host body. And that's why Jesus came into this system, to reconcile the two opposing energies. The two became one. One thief mocked Jesus, the other thief repented. And when he repented, he got a new spirit, and the two became one. And that's what Jesus does for us. He unlocks the cube. Similar to what we discussed earlier in the video, Kabbalists believe that there is a divine spark from God within every person of creation. The Kabbalist believes that the Messiah himself also fell into the abyss, and that he too is exiled and will be released from the pit when a critical mass or a spark will be a calling for him to come forth into the earth. Now you know what CERN is all about. They are trying to open up the pit, and now you know what that image of that Illuminati ceremonial mass that appeared in the image of CERN provided by CERN themselves was all about. It is them trying to open up this pit and bring forth the Messiah at the right time. And their Messiah is none other than the fallen angel Metatron, and through rabbinic writings is identified as Yeshua, not our Yeshua, Jesus Christ. Their false Yeshua, whose primary role is to act as the mediator and carry their prayers to Jehovah, which is the supreme God, El. But because they have not believed in Jesus Christ, their El, their Jehovah, is Lucifer. And that's why Lucifer, who is Satan, who is the deceiver of the whole world, masquerades like an angel of light. He has deceived the whole world, and these people are the most deceived. Isn't it interesting how they have Shiva outside the building of CERN, and Shiva just happens to stand for the supreme God? You cannot make this stuff up. And now we know what visual evidence to look for. We see Metatron's cube symbology, otherwise known as Saturn's cube, manifesting in plain sight all around the world. You see Metatron's cube symbology in Amazon, Gateway Computers, Nintendo Cube game. It's in movies like Hellraiser, the Rubik's Cube, Boston Logan National Airport, Australia, Denmark, Manhattan, Santa Ana. It's the symbology for the religion of Islam. It's in D-Wave Computer, which is another whole video in itself. But let's just listen to the founder of D-Wave Computer talk about it for a little bit.
But science has reached the point now where we can build machines that exploit those other worlds. And quantum computers are perhaps the most exciting of all of these that we have within, or almost within, our grasp right now. So if you have the opportunity to stand next to one of these machines, it is an awe-inspiring thing, at least for me. It feels like an altar to an alien god. They really are impressive machines.
An altar to an alien god. There it is, guys. The founder of D-Wave Computing telling you where he got this technology. They're accessing another dimension, other spiritual or fallen angels from a different dimension. That reminds me of Revelation 13:15. And the second beast was able to give breath to the image of the first beast so that the image could speak and cause all who refuse to worship it be killed. This is artificial intelligence, guys. This is D-Wave Computing. And here's an image of a fake Jew wearing a black cube that's described in Revelation 2:9, where it says, I know your affliction and your poverty. Though you are rich, I am aware of the slander of those who falsely claim to be Jews, but are in fact of the synagogue of Satan. And probably the most in-your-face type of mockery is the Satan's Cube at the 9/11 Memorial at Ground Zero in New York City. There's a light cube on the surface and a dark inverted cube going into the ground representing the angel of the bottomless pit. As above, so below, the light and the dark. And in case you haven't made the connection to 9/11 yet, let me spell it out for you. Revelation 9:11 is the angel of the bottomless pit. That's why the Twin Towers were destroyed on 9/11. This is symbolic of Satan saying that he has taken over the host body twin system. The two energies have become one. This is represented by the One World Freedom Tower. The two DNA, the two twin towers were destroyed and the two have become one. And if you don't believe me, let's just look at this clip from Back to the Future because it clearly spells it out that they were intentionally destroyed. And it even shows on a sign the frequency that makes Metatron's cube, 116 hertz. And when you turn and flip the sign upside down, it's 911, the angel from the bottomless pit.